Have you ever heard a song that felt like it was written just for you? A melody that seemed to understand a part of your soul you didn't even know how to express? It might have been a simple tune on the radio, something you heard in a movie, or a powerful anthem that filled a stadium. These songs stay with us. They become the soundtrack to our lives, marking moments of joy, heartbreak, and everything in between. We carry them in our memories, and a few simple notes can transport us back in time, bringing a flood of emotions and forgotten feelings to the surface. It is a kind of magic, a powerful connection that music creates between the artist and the listener. This magic is not an accident. It is born from a mysterious and wonderful process, a process of creation. Somewhere, a person sat down with an instrument or a blank piece of paper. They searched for the right words, the perfect chord, the unforgettable hook. They poured their own experiences, their hopes, their fears into a structure of sound and rhythm. This act of creation is one of the most fundamentally human things we can do. It is the desire to take something from inside our minds and share it with the world, hoping that it will resonate with someone else. This is the story of how that happens. We often think of hit songs as bolts of lightning, sudden, brilliant flashes of inspiration that strike a lucky songwriter. But is it really that simple? Is it just a matter of waiting for the muse to appear? The truth is far more fascinating. The journey from a silent room to a global hit is a complex dance between emotion, science, intuition, and structure. It involves specific patterns of thinking, unique states of mind, and intricate workings of the human brain. It is a process that we can start to understand, not to take away its magic, but to appreciate it even more deeply. The creation of a song is a testament to the incredible power of the creative mind. In this exploration, we will pull back the curtain on this amazing process. We will look at the science behind the art. We will journey into the mind of a songwriter to see how a simple idea blossoms into a fully formed piece of music. We are not here to dissect the soul of a song until it loses its meaning. Instead, we are here to celebrate it. We will explore how understanding the how can make us appreciate the what even more. By the end, you will see that the birth of a song is not just a random event. It is a beautiful, intricate, and deeply human journey that we can all learn from. Music is a universal language. It speaks to us across cultures, across generations, across personal divides. A joyful rhythm can make anyone want to dance, regardless of the language of the lyrics. A melancholic melody can bring a sense of shared sadness, creating a bond between strangers. This power comes from the fact that music taps directly into our emotions. It bypasses the logical parts of our brain and connects with the ancient, primal centers that govern how we feel. A simple progression of chords can make us feel uplifted, tense, or resolved, all without a single word being spoken. It is a direct line to our emotional core. Think about the songs that define your life. The song from your first dance, the anthem you blasted with friends on a road trip, the lullaby that soothed you as a child. These are more than just collections of notes and words. They are containers for our memories. They hold the emotional energy of those moments, preserving them like amber. When we hear that song again, it is like opening a time capsule. The feelings rush back, vivid and real. Every song begins with a tiny seed. It might be a phrase that pops into your head while you are walking down the street. It could be a simple melody you hum in the shower. It could be a powerful emotion. Overwhelming love. It could be a powerful emotion. Profound loss. This initial spark is the most mysterious part of the process. It seems to come from nowhere, an uninvited guest arriving in your consciousness. Artists and songwriters have called this inspiration the muse, a gift from the universe. It is a moment of pure, unfiltered creation, a signal from the deeper parts of the mind. This spark is fragile. It can be easily lost in the noise of daily life. The phone rings, an email arrives, a thought about your to-do list distracts you. This is why artists learn to be ready. They carry notebooks, use voice recorders on their phones, rush to their instruments the moment inspiration strikes. They know these moments are precious and fleeting. They have to act as a catcher, ready to grab the idea before it disappears back into the ether. To understand how a song is born, we must travel into the most complex and incredible instrument of all, the human brain. This 3-pound organ is the source of every melody, every lyric, and every emotion we have ever felt through music. It is a universe of 100 billion neurons firing in intricate patterns, creating the symphony of our thoughts, feelings, and ideas. When a songwriter is at work, their brain is a dazzling spectacle of light and energy. Different regions light up, communicate with each other, and work together in a delicate and powerful dance. It is here, in this inner world, that the real work of creation takes place. We will explore the key brain networks involved in this process. We will look at the default mode network, the part of your brain that is active when you are daydreaming, letting your mind wander. This is often where those initial sparks of inspiration are born, in the quiet moments when you are not focused on a specific task. We will also examine the executive control network, which is the brain's project manager. This is the part that helps you focus, organize your ideas, and make conscious decisions about which chord to use, which word to change. Creativity is a conversation between these different parts of the brain. The journey of a song is a journey between different modes of thinking. We will explore divergent thinking, which is the ability to brainstorm and generate a wide variety of ideas without judgment. This is the playful, exploratory phase where you follow every possibility, no matter how strange it seems. Then we will look at convergent thinking, which is the process of narrowing down those ideas, refining them, and making choices to build a coherent structure. A great songwriter is someone who can move fluidly between these two styles of thought, knowing when to dream and when to build. For most artists, creativity is a lived experience, not a theoretical concept. It is a relationship they cultivate with their own inner world. A songwriter might describe it as a feeling, a gut instinct that tells them when a melody is right or when a lyric is true. This intuition is their most trusted guide. It is a compass that points them toward emotional resonance and authenticity. They may not be able to explain exactly why one chord change feels more powerful than another, but they know it in their bones. This deep internal sense of knowing is the result of thousands of hours spent listening, playing, and connecting with the emotional language of music. When a neuroscientist looks at creativity, they see a brain at work. They are not looking for a muse, but for patterns. Using tools like fMRI and EEG, they can watch as different parts of the brain light up and communicate with each other. What they have found is fascinating. Creativity is not localized to one single spot in the brain. It involves collaboration between multiple large-scale brain networks. It is a whole brain activity, a symphony of regions working together to produce a new idea. At first glance, the artist's intuition and the scientist's analysis seem to describe two completely different worlds. One is filled with magic, mystery, and emotion. The other is a world of networks, neurons, and cognitive processes. But what if they are simply two languages describing the same territory? The artist's muse, or inspiration, can be seen as the subjective experience of the default mode network making a novel connection. That sudden, electrifying feeling of a new idea is the Salience Network, flagging it as important and bringing it into your conscious awareness. The hard work that artists describe, of crafting and shaping a song, maps perfectly onto the function of the executive control network. The two views are not in conflict, they enrich one another. The science does not remove the magic. It gives us a glimpse of the incredible machinery that makes the magic possible. This unified view empowers us. It tells us that creativity is both a gift and a skill. A great songwriter is not just someone who has great ideas, they are someone who has also developed the skill and discipline to capture those ideas and build something beautiful with them. Let's imagine a songwriter sitting in a room with a guitar. The page in front of them is completely blank. This moment, filled with infinite possibility, is where the first mode of creative thinking begins. It is called divergent thinking. Think of it as a mental explosion, a firework display of ideas. The goal here is not to find the right answer, but to generate as many answers as possible. The songwriter is not judging or editing, they are simply exploring. They might ask themselves, what is this song about? A rainy Tuesday, the color blue, a forgotten childhood memory, a conversation they overheard in a cafe. Every idea is welcome. This is the playful, messy, and essential phase of creation. The songwriter might try dozens of different chord progressions, humming random melodies over them. They will fill pages of their notebook with single words, rhyming pairs, disconnected phrases, moonlight, empty streets, ghost of you, a broken smile. None of it has to make sense yet. It is like gathering raw materials. A painter might collect different colors of paint. A chef might lay out all their spices. The songwriter is collecting sonic and lyrical ingredients, a vast palette of possibilities. This mode of thinking is directly linked to the brain's default mode network. To think divergently, you have to relax your mental grip. These quiet the brain's inner critic, the executive control network, and let the default mode network take the stage. After the glorious explosion of divergent thinking, the songwriter is left with a room full of ideas. Notebook pages are filled with lyrical fragments. Their phone's voice memos are a jumble of melodic sketches. Now, the creative process must switch gears. The time for expansion is over. The time for focus has begun. This next phase is called convergent thinking. If divergent thinking is like a firework, convergent thinking is like a laser beam. It is the process of sifting through all the raw material, evaluating the options, and making deliberate choices to bring order to the chaos. It is about finding the single best solution to a specific problem. This process is like a funnel. You pour all the wide-ranging ideas in at the top, and through a process of analysis, combination, and elimination, you guide them toward a single, coherent output at the bottom. The songwriter might take a line from one page, a chord progression from a different idea, and realize they fit together perfectly. This is the domain of the brain's executive control network. This network brings focus, logic, and planning to the forefront. The songwriter is no longer daydreaming, they are architecting. They are making conscious decisions about song structure. This will be the verse, this will be the chorus. They are refining a melody note by note, ensuring it flows naturally. They are polishing a lyric, making sure every word serves the story and fits the rhythm perfectly. A great songwriter is a master of both modes of thought. They know when to throw the doors open and let the ideas run wild, and they know when to close them and start the meticulous work of building. It is the back and forth rhythm that transforms a chaotic mess of inspiration into a polished and powerful work of art. Picture our songwriter, lost in thought, strumming their guitar. Their eyes are unfocused, their mind is wandering. On a brain scan, we would see their default mode network, or DMN, glowing brightly. It is rummaging through the vast library of their memories, their emotions, their musical knowledge. It connects the feeling of a recent breakup to the sound of rain on a window pane, and links that to a minor chord they learned years ago. Suddenly, a melancholic melody and a lyrical phrase, "The rain sounds like your ghost," emerge into their consciousness. This is the DMN delivering a creative gift. At that moment, another network flickers to life, the Salience Network. It acts as the brain's bouncer, constantly scanning for what is important. It detects this new, emotionally charged idea and flags it as significant. The Salience Network then performs a crucial function. It acts as a switch. It begins to dampen the activity of the wandering DMN and ramps up the activity of the brain's project manager, the Executive Control Network, or ECN. The songwriter's posture changes. They sit up straighter. Their eyes focus on their notebook. They consciously begin to work. Now the ECN is in the driver's seat. The brain is in convergent thinking mode. The ECN is now directing a focused search for a specific purpose. It might ask the DMN, "What rhymes with ghost?" But it will ignore silly answers and focus on ones that fit the song's somber mood. The ECN evaluates each option, weighs its pros and cons, and helps the songwriter make a series of deliberate choices. This entire sequence is a beautiful, fluid dance between the brain's major networks. The DMN provides the raw, novel ideas. The Salience Network identifies the promising ones, and the ECN develops them with focus and intent. After the dance between divergent and convergent thinking, a songwriter sometimes enters a third, almost magical state of mind. It is a space where the work stops feeling like work. The struggle between brainstorming and structuring just dissolves, and the two modes merge into a seamless, effortless process. This is the state of flow, a concept famously described by psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. It's often called being in the zone. It is a state of deep immersion where they are so completely absorbed in the act of creation that everything else in the world simply fades away. First, there must be a clear goal. Second, the challenge of the task must be perfectly matched with the songwriter's skill level. Flow happens in that perfect, delicate balance. This state is characterized by intense and focused concentration on the present moment. The songwriter isn't worrying about what they'll have for dinner. The internal chatter of the self-conscious mind goes silent. There's no room for self-doubt or criticism. The creator and the creation become one. Instead, there is only the song, unfolding in real time. It feels less like building something brick by brick and more like channeling a river that is already flowing. One of the most profound and universal experiences of being in a flow state is a distorted sense of time. For the songwriter deep in the zone, the clock on the wall just ceases to exist. Hours can feel like mere minutes. They might sit down with their instrument in the late afternoon, and the next time they look up, the sun has set and the room is dark. This melting away of time is a direct consequence of the brain's intense focus. The parts of the brain responsible for monitoring the self and tracking the passage of time become quiet. Your prefrontal cortex temporarily goes offline. The usual pressures and anxieties of daily life are suspended. All that exists is the here and now. The feel of the guitar strings, the vibration of a piano key, the sound of a voice shaping a melody. Simultaneously, the brain releases a potent cocktail of neurochemicals. Norepinephrine, linked to focus. Dopamine, linked to reward. Endorphins, natural painkillers. Anandamide, the bliss molecule, may boost pattern recognition. The brain also shifts its brainwave activity toward alpha and theta waves. Together, they make the mind relaxed yet highly focused. A guitarist might find their fingers playing chords they didn't know they knew. A lyricist might discover complex rhymes appearing without conscious effort. The brain, freed from constraints, is operating at the peak of creative capacity. Ultimately, the experience is autotelic, intrinsically rewarding. The songwriter isn't doing it for fame or money. They're doing it for the sheer joy of the activity itself. The process is its own reward. Eventually, the river of flow begins to slow. The state just can't last forever. The songwriter looks up from their instrument, waking from a dream. They might feel a sudden awareness of their body, a stiff back, tired fingers, a feeling of thirst. They look at the clock, shocked at how much time passed. This return to normal consciousness is often accompanied by an afterglow. There's a feeling of deep satisfaction and wonder. Looking at the lyrics on the page, they might even think, where did that come from? Did I really write that? However, the work isn't necessarily finished. The song must be re-examined in the clear light of day. It requires setting the song aside for a little while, maybe a day or even a week. This emotional distance is essential. When the songwriter returns to the work, they can hear it more like a first-time listener would. They can spot the awkward phrasing that felt profound in the moment, the melody that meanders without purpose. But experienced creators know the real art often lies in what you take away. This is the art of subtraction. Is that extra guitar solo serving the song or distracting from the lyrics? Could a complex chord progression be simplified so the melody stands out? This can be emotionally difficult. It often means killing your darlings, removing a line, a chord, or a section you love, but that doesn't serve the song. But that's a hallmark of a mature artist, serving the song above ego. The process of finishing a song is a masterclass in brain network collaboration. The ECN might send a specific query to the default mode network. Find me a better word for sad that fits a 3-syllable melody and evokes a feeling of emptiness. The teamwork has become more efficient and specialized. Perhaps the most difficult question in the entire creative process is this: how do you know when a song is truly finished? The intuitive part is a feeling of rightness, of resolution. The songwriter listens back to the track, and the error signals from their brain stop firing. The song feels complete, like a circle that has been closed. The pragmatic part involves recognizing the point of diminishing returns. There comes a moment when the changes being made are no longer making the song fundamentally better, but just different. A mature artist learns to recognize this point. Ultimately, finishing a song is an act of courage. It means accepting its imperfections and having the confidence to share it with others. The work is no longer just for the creator, it is being given away. Once released, the song will take on a life of its own, becoming a part of other people's stories. We began this journey by marveling at the magic of a song. We have seen that the creation of a song is not just a random bolt of lightning. It is a beautiful and intricate dance between the wild, wandering parts of our brain and the focused, disciplined parts that build order from chaos. The science and the art of songwriting are telling the same story. The artist speaks of soul, feeling, magic. The scientist speaks of networks, chemicals, cognition. Both are describing the process of taking the intangible stuff of human experience, love, loss, joy, hope, and giving it a form that can be shared, a form that can echo in the mind and heart of a listener. The birth of a song is where our neurology becomes poetry, and where the symphony of our brain becomes the music of our lives. This exploration of the creative mind is not just for songwriters, musicians, or artists. The principles we have discussed are universal. They apply to anyone who wants to bring a new idea into the world. Your life experiences are your unique palette of colors, and your mind is the artist waiting for a canvas. Embrace the process. Allow yourself to have a messy, divergent phase where you generate ideas without judgment. Then, give yourself the focused time to engage your executive control network to refine those ideas and build something real. The world needs your creativity. It needs your unique perspective, your novel solutions, and your personal expression. So, listen to the music of your own mind. Pay attention to the sparks of inspiration. Trust the process of shaping and refining your thoughts. The science of creativity shows us the path, but you are the one who must walk it. What song is waiting inside of you? What is the unique creative anthem that only you can write and share with the world?